everyone, in this tutorial we will try to disable the sudo function of the user, so the user cannot use the sudo function anymore. Why I do this? Because I don't like the sudo function. First of all, I want to show you that for this tutorial I use Fedora 33 as my operating system, and the desktop environment is GNOME. As long as I know, there are only 3 ways to disable the sudo function. I will take note so we can learn together and we can see which way do you want to use. If you want to use all of them, you still can do that. The first way is get the user out of the wheel group. There are 2 steps to do this. Step number 1, set the root password. And then step number 2, get the user out of the wheel group. And then the second way, edit the sudoers file. There are 2 steps to do this. The step number 1 is the same like this one. Set the root password. And then step number 2, edit the sudoers file that is located in etc directory, and the file name is sudoers. You need to use the vsudo command. The third way is the combination of the first way and the second way. Because this is the combination of the first and second way, so there are 3 steps to do this. The first step is set the password for the root, and then the second step is get the user out of the wheel group. Step number 3, edit the sudoers file. This is how I disable the sudo function. If you have another way, just tell me by leaving a comment below. Before we continue, I want to tell you that if you just have one user in your Fedora, after fresh install, your user is an administrator. For example, this is my user. There is only one in my computer, so my user is belong to the wheel group. If you want to check, you can go to the terminal and type groups. You can see here that my user Gunawan is part of the wheel group. If you want to see how many groups in your computer, you can go to the etc directory and then you can see the groups in the groups file. You can use nano or cat command. I will use nano and the file is group. We see here that the wheel group has only one member, that is my user. In this file you can see how many groups in your computer. After you know which user that is part of the wheel group, so you can continue to choose which user do you want to get it out from the wheel group. Maybe you have question like why you always say about the wheel group. Okay, I will let you know what the wheel group can do. We have to open the sudo file, so I will type sudo vsudo. Why I use sudo? Because if you want to execute this command, you need to use the root privilege. So I use sudo. Okay. This is the sudo file. As you can see here that this file must be edited with the sudo command. Scroll down and you can see what the wheel group can do. You can see here that the wheel group has the same privilege with the root. So if you want to exclude a user or some users, so you need to make the user out of the wheel group. Because you run the vsudo command, so the text editor is vi. You need to press the colon and then Q, enter. So you can go out of the VI without change anything. What is the relation between the will group and the sudoers file? I will make a drawing, so I hope you can understand easily. If you see this tutorial from the beginning, you will see that the will group is managed by the sudoers file, and the user that has the root privilege always inside this user group. So if you want to get some users or a user to be not have the root privilege, you can get the user out of the will group. Let's start the process. Open your terminal and we will process the first way. Get the user out of the will group. The first step is set the root password and get the user out of the will group. Okay, we will set the root password. Sudo passwd root. Enter the user password. In this case, the user Gunawan. And this is the new root password. Retype your root password. You can see the notif that my password is bad. That is okay because this is my personal computer and not a server. I think it's okay to have the bad password for learning. Done for the step 1 and get the user out of the will group. Okay, we will get the user Gunawan out of the will group. The command is sorry, I need to be a root user. Okay, now I'm a root user. You can see this part. The command is g pass wd dash d username Gunawan from the group will execute. Okay, we will try to check. Oh, sorry, I think we need to log out and log in again, so the policy will be set. Okay, everyone, let's check. You can see here that Gunawan is not a will member anymore. To make sure, we will check the group file in etc. You can see there's no group in will group. So we already do this step and this step. This step is the same, so it's done too, and so this one. We will continue to the second way for the second step. Edit the sudoers file in etc directory with vsudo command. Open your terminal. To execute the vsudo command, you need to be root because you are no longer in the will group, so you need to switch to the root user. Vsudo enter. Okay everyone, I don't know why the Fedora use nano for opening this file. Before, the Fedora use VI as the terminal editor, but it's okay. You can go to this line. Wait a minute. You can go to this line and comment this line like this. So this line will not be executed anymore. To exit, press Ctrl X, press Y, enter. To test the result, we need to exit from the root user. Oh, I'm sorry. To test the result, we need to create a new user as an administrator, and we will execute the sudo from that new user. Until here, we already execute this step, and so this step and this step automatically. Let's create a new user. To create a new user, go to the settings, and then wait, go to the settings and then go to the users menu, click unlock. If you see here administrator, it is because we already set the administrator password, I mean the root password, and the user Gunawan is no longer in the wheel group. Besides that, we already comment to the sudoers file, so the wheel group will not be executed anymore. Input your root password and add a user. I will name this new user Michael. Administrator, and the password is add user. Done for creating a user. You can see here that Michael is an administrator. Okay. We will log out from this user, from the Gunawan user, and log in to the Michael user. Let's log in by using the Michael. Okay everyone, because this is a new user, so this is like welcoming ceremony from Fedora. Next, English keyboard. Next, skip, start using Fedora. We can skip this tour, and I will recap what we have done before. We already set the root password, and then we already get the user, in this case Gunawan, out from will group. The last, we already edit the etc sudoers file. So in this case should be everything in the will group will not have the root privilege because we already edit this file. Let's check. Okay everyone, to test the result, I will copy a file in the yum.repos.d directory. because this user is in the wheel group, I will use the sudo. This is the result. Michael is not in the sudoers file. This is because we already edit this file. So everything in the wheel group will not has permission like root user. Okay everyone, we will go back to the Gunawan. One thing I forgot to mention in the beginning of this video, that I use the Fedora 33 Workstation. It's different with the Fedora 33 Cinnamon. If you want to see my review about this Fedora 33 Cinnamon, you can click on your top right corner. There's a card, and this is the difference between these two Fedora version. In 33 Workstation we can execute the sudo. In Cinnamon cannot. And the other I will not tell you in here because you can see my review. Okay everyone, this is my conclusion about the sudo function. Number one, if we create a user that has the administrator privilege, the Fedora will put the user into the wheel group. And number two, the wheel group is managed by the sudoers file. It means that if we edit the sudo works file, so everything in the wheel group will lose their privilege like the root user. In the other way, maybe we can say that sudo works file define the wheel group privilege. This is my conclusion, and maybe you have your own conclusion. You can leave comments below. This is my suggestion if you are a new Linux user. Please just do the first way, the only first way. The first way is get the user out of the wheel group. Once again, if you are a new Linux user, just do the first way. Never do the second way, because if you do the second way, you will get trouble when you are creating a new user. All the policy will not run well. And don't do the third way, because the risk is the same with the second way. I think this is the end of this video. Actually, I still curious about something, but this video had a long duration already, so I will continue with the other video. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you will get notification if I post a new video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.